Hi boys and girls, we're going to do two quick math problems. We're going to do one adding and one subtracting. Alright boys and girls, so looking at this picture, the problem says there are 7 flowers. Johnny picks 2 flowers. How many are left? So looking at that picture, it's telling us that Johnny is picking flowers, which means that I'm going to have to assume that he is taking them away because he is taking them out of the picture or out of the ground. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to draw 2 X's on the flowers that are being taken away by Johnny or picked by Johnny. By putting those 2 X's on the flowers, it's showing me that I know that I'm taking them away and out of the picture. So now looking at this picture, I can go ahead and I can write the numbers on top of all of the flowers. And I can do some counting to figure out how many are left when I take 2 flowers away. So we're starting with 7 and we took 2 away. We put X's on 2 flowers. Now looking at the top, you can count the flowers from left to right of how many are left. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We have 5 flowers left. Now we're going to go ahead and start to create our problem. We're going to draw a line, circle, line, circle, line. And then we're going to move to start filling it in. But it's really important to draw our problem out like this first. Now we know that Johnny is taking away those flowers. So we know that we're going to put a subtraction sign or a minus sign and an equal sign inside of our problem. Now we have to remember when we're doing a subtraction problem, we always want to start with the bigger number and looking at how many there are in all. So we're starting with the number 7. So I'm going to go ahead and write the number 7 on my first line. For the second line, we can go ahead and see that we are taking away 2 flowers. Johnny is picking 2 flowers. So on the second line, we're going to go ahead and write the number 2 because that's how many we are taking away or subtracting. And for the last part of our problem, we're just going to go back to our picture and we're going to count how many are left. And you can see that there are 5 flowers left that are not picked. So we're going to write the 5 right after the equal sign on the line. Alright, so our next problem says there are 2 kids on the playground. 4 more come to join them. How many are there in all? Now when we're looking at this problem, we really want to look at the words that are inside of it. It says more come to join them, meaning that we're adding some more to our problem. So you can see we have the 2 on the playground and the 4 more to the left are coming to join them. So we want to make sure when we hear the word join that we remember that joining means that we're adding them together. They're going to be put into one problem. We want to know how many in all it's asking us. So at the end we should have a big number of how many there are in all. Now, just like our last problem, we want to start off with our line, circle, line, circle, line. So then we have everything written out that we need to for our problem and we make sure that we don't miss anything. Now what we can do next is go ahead and write the plus sign or the addition sign and the equal sign because we know that since those children are joining, we're going to be adding them to our problem. And when we read this problem, it tells us that we're starting with 2 kids on the playground. So the best thing you can do is to always write the number 2 first, because that's how many you're starting with. So once you write the number 2, then you can move on to the next line. Since we know that 4 more are joining them, we can see that in our picture, we can go ahead and write the number 4 on the next line, because we're showing that we have 2, and then we're adding 4 more. So now what we can do for our last line is we want to know how many in all. So we can go back to our picture and we can count. 2 plus 4 equals 6. And we can go ahead and write 6 on the line. Awesome job, boys and girls. Remember when we're doing adding and subtracting problems that we can always use different type of things to help us solve the problems. We can use our fingers to count, we can use the picture to count, and it's always helpful to draw pictures to go along with your adding and subtracting problems, just so you have something to look at. And what I always suggest is checking your problem twice. Go through and count your problem twice to make sure that you have the right answer.